Well, once again, we are joined by Professor of Political Science at MUW, Dr. Brian Anderson. And Dr. Anderson, we heard President Trump saying that he would be willing to go to the Supreme Court to challenge the results. From your knowledge, from your understanding of the situation, what would that look like going forward? What are the possibilities there?
It would probably have to be several suits. Yeah, he probably can't do a single suit to cover all the states that haven't yet called. He'd have to pick out particular ones and make challenges to their particular electoral law and processes. And then it's a matter of the court interpreting whether these are legitimate claims. But going back to Bush versus Gore, that big court case from 20 years ago that was so decisive, you remember it had to do with those hanging chads and other problems in the Florida electoral vote counting process. And they kept counting and recounting, and it didn't seem like it was consistent all the way through. So the Supreme Court said, just end it here. We need to move on. Trump might hope that there could be a situation like that where a state just gets stopped up and not able to really complete the process in a satisfactory way. But that's me guessing. I don't think we can really predict what's coming, but it's probably going to be legal.
We're just going to have to be patient and wait and see. In Mississippi, the race for U.S. Senate, any surprises there between Cindy Hyde-Smith and Mike Espy?
No surprise, except for the margin of victory was much greater than in 2018. Espy ran a spirited campaign, wanted a face-to-face contest with Cindy Hyde-Smith, but she declined because she felt she didn't need to go in that direction. She just relied on her bedrock conservative principles and her enduring support for President Trump. And it turned out to be very much a partisan determination of who won.
And as someone who follows politics very closely, were you happy to see the turnout the way that it was?
Absolutely. Very strong turnout nationwide. I'm not sure about the Mississippi numbers, but judging from what I heard about some precincts with long lines, it took me 20 minutes in my precinct yesterday. It's so good to see people come out and affirm their democratic right to participate in our political system.
On that note, any other words of encouragement going forward for people out there? I know patience is a good advice at this point.
Right. We've been trained since elementary school to think of Election Day as a 24-hour period. And maybe classically people walked to the polls and everything was counted by midnight. But it never really has worked that way in the modern era. The counts go on even after a winner is determined early on in the process. But we so happen to have a situation here where a winner isn't determined right away. We have to let the states do the very important work of counting every ballot.
Well said. Dr. Anderson, thanks so much for taking this morning to spend with us and break things down for us. We appreciate having you.